The latest monthly report from the National Agricultural Statistics Service shows Nebraska's cows are 4% complete with calving. Cattle and calf death loss is rated 99% average to light. Earlier this week, we talked with Nebraska Extension beef specialist Rick Rasby in the RB Warren Arena on East Campus to discuss cow nutrition during and after calving. We started by asking how producers can begin to prepare for the season.
Calving's just right around the corner, and it's interesting. We're through January and you're right into February, and there's a lot of spring calving herds in Nebraska, and so the idea would be make sure you have all the supplies that you need. Hopefully you don't have to treat for scours, but make sure you have something there for scours. If you have a calf that doesn't get up and nurse, make sure you have some colostrum around, and probably the best colostrum source would be a source from within your own herd. If you got to go and get commercial colostrum, I'd sure visit with your veterinarian to see what he would recommend at that time. Some disinfectant, also probably some iodine around to make sure that you can treat the navels. And so have that calving barn cleaned up and ready to go. Hopefully you don't have to use it, but have it cleaned up and ready to go, and make sure you have your calf pullers cleaned and those kinds of things ready, so that if you have to use them, they're there and ready.
Let's talk about nutrition. In this January, this winter overall has probably not been extremely favorable for a lot of animals out there. What kind of condition do you think we have cows in right now?
I go around the country and I see cows in pretty good shape, but I'll agree with you. It's been an interesting winter with all the moisture in December. It's made some challenges out there, and I think typically we rely quite a bit on cornstalk residue grazing, and that was available this year, but I think due to that moisture in December, and it really didn't freeze up very quickly, there's probably a lot of that residue. I shouldn't say a lot, but some of that residue, instead of being grazed, it was trampled into the ground. And so I'd sure watch cows right now, and if you got them in good condition, you want to keep them there. You sure don't want to go in the other direction. And the idea would be to monitor them, and as you get closer to calving, it'll be difficult to meet requirements on cornstalk grazing alone.
Reinforce to me what kind of condition you want them in.
Well, so first calf heifers condition score 6 in that 1 to 9 scale. Those mature cows, our data would suggest that anything that calves in condition score 5 or greater will have a pretty good do a pretty good job of raising that calf, but also getting rebred during that next breeding season. So 6 for first calf heifers, condition score 5 for mature cows.
How about after calving? Anything to keep in mind for nutrition requirements after calving?
As I visit with producers and the questions that I get, a lot of times we do a really good job before calving, and I think after calving is where they have quite a few questions. And I think we harp on them enough that they probably do a good job on the protein side of things. But when you take a look at that female that's lactating, there's a pretty good energy need that we need to meet. And so the idea would be to not only meet the protein requirement, but really need to meet that energy requirement as well. And I would say for young females that have average milk, probably not going to get that TDN requirement met with just grass, hay, and alfalfa. So you're going to have to add something in there that has a little bit of energy to it, and that can be in the form of distillers grains, corn. Make sure you have, if you use corn, make sure you have protein balance. Silage works pretty good in there, and so those kinds of feeds need to be included with that forage diet to meet that energy requirement.
If you are feeding forages, do you still recommend testing if you haven't done it yet?
I would say, get the probe out and get her done. And the good thing is we've got some labs around Nebraska that do NIR testing, and they're very good at it. Doesn't take very long to get an NIR analysis on that forage.
For more information about how changing feeding times can impact when cows calve during the day, you can view our interview with Nebraska Extension's Aaron Berger from the January 8th episode of Market Journal.